everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Indie Credible Podcast. What are you guys? Whoa! What are your hosts, Xander Scully, and joining with me is soon to be burning me, Jeff. That's
Burning
when
you
you're gonna burn me. You're gonna burn me on this one. All right.
into the fire.
Yeah. Right up. So yeah. Yeah, I have a funny story to open the show with because I went to a video game store yesterday. 'Cause, I worked like 6 days this week and I was like, I want to go out and do something. So I went to one of my local retro video game stores and I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can find some indie. And see, my idea was I was gonna find an indie game and I was gonna like show it to you on the show. And I was hoping you'd be like, oh man, you found that physical. That's awesome. But the game I picked up was Curse of the Sea Rats. And I spent $20 on this, by the way. But I showed you the picture of it on Facebook. I'm like, man, look what I got. Yeah.
And then what I said was, do you know how I know Xander doesn't read my books or get my books? I was like, hey, man, I covered this in the Metroidvania Chronicles, the newest version. And I'm like, look, Curse of the Sea Rats. I already covered it. I did a review. And I was like, Xander, what section is it in? Player beware. Player beware. I was like, all games are not created equal, Xander. You know what other games in here, though? I covered 2 games, and I tried to cover like 2 games that didn't quite live up to the hype or weren't great. The other game that I covered in this one, Russian Attack Expatriate. Holy cow, this game freaking sucks. Xbox 360 again. Oh my god. But like, I was like, yeah, Xander, you didn't read my book.
This is why you need to get his books. And then I like shit. I was like, man, I should have known better. I mean, I should have like sent you the picture before buying the book or buying the game, right? Should have bought the book, and then I would have already known, and I wouldn't even spent the money. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. I did play a game though that we covered in a previous episode. That's
I was gonna say, what did you tell me you're gonna play now? Demonica? Because that was in the Player Beware in Volume 1. Hey, I played Demonica.
but no, I actually downloaded Red Blue Cell. I downloaded that on Steam and
Nice.
good stuff. It is very much like a Blazing Lasers meets like Ikaruga. I kind of like the simplistic graphic style a little bit more. It is a little easier for me because there's not so much going on in the background. But he's really good.
NES style Ikaruga is what it basically is.
So good.
Crazy. Dude. All I gotta say though is I've been working on putting computers away and doing practical art and painting and all that stuff, and actually figured out a way to do the crazy detailed pixel art, because I don't know if I showed it on an episode, but I definitely showed you the giant, like the small Metroid that I made, but like the pixels are like tiny, tiny, tiny. And I was messing with this one because do you have a nostalgia for playing Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time? A lot of people do. Yes. Do you know that in the arcade that the Shredder boss fight is different?
Yes. Yes.
And
it
he
is.
has a damn lightsaber and it's badass. That's my nostalgia. So I'm like, let me take that pixel, let me make it into a vector graphic, and let me do that. And I did one, and the pixels,
Oh.
like, dude, it looks badass, but these pixels are freaking tiny. Like, I'm talking, like, look
Wow.
at how tiny these pixels are. I was able to start painting it, and I'm starting to get bleed on it because, like, I'm not like super, super accurate yet as I go. But I had an idea because my wife's been buying these pre-made canvases. And so I was like, well, let me do a giant one. And so I am working on it. And so I can actually paint this one. So as you could see, it's just enough big enough. And so I started working on the lightsaber on it.
Wow.
And of course, I'm going to paint the background to a color that matches the level of whatever the boss fight level. I think it's a grayish, and then I'll do the border for the actual painting. But like this will be something that you could hang on the wall behind me. I'm not going to put it on the over here, but yeah. So these look cool as shit. Works really well for 16-bit and 8-bit, but when you get into arcades and more complicated or bigger pixel arts, it becomes tiny. Like the other thing was that I noticed is that in here I was starting to paint things, and some of these little like wooden things, because it's so small, were like popping off.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like inside of his leg armor where the spikes are, it's like inside because the little it's so minute that it started to pop off because it's tiny, tiny, tiny. I mean, it's detailed as shit though,
That is insane.
but it looks cool as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I
looks
just
that
like
looks
it because he
really
has like
cool.
a crazy dragon, like fire and everything. Like it's one of my favorite Shredder boss fights, and they completely changed it in the Super Nintendo ones. Most people are nostalgic for the Super Nintendo boss fight with Shredder. Whereas the one in the arcades, he has the lightsaber but yeah, that's what I've been fucking with. And it's been cool. I also printed one out of the Metroid, which I sent you a picture of. So I'm gonna work on the giant Metroid from Super Metroid, and I'm gonna get that done too because it's gonna look badass when I get done. I'm gonna have it with part of my Metroidvania wall that I'm gonna make.
That is, and you're gonna have like a copy of Curse of the Sea Rats, and in the middle of it with a light shining down. Because this is, by the way, this is a Metroidvania, but it's a really bad one. It's a really
Of course it is because the book I showed you, Xander, is called the Metroidvania Chronicles.
So it's all about Metroidvanias, and you guys can check that out on HagensAlley.com.
Look at that play. Like, but yeah, I'll put Curses, Sea-Rats, Demonica. We're up by the dartboard. So ironically, I think I definitely have Demonica. I may have Curse of the Sea-Rats on physical. I can't remember because I'll only do it if I get a deal. But I do have one thing I want to bring up for discussion before I jump into what we've been playing, because I got about 3 games that I played as well. Um, and actually, I'll talk about 2 of them that we've talked about in a previous episode. Then I'll jump into my topic. So I played 100 Pumpkins 2 that we talked about. 100 Pumpkins 2, super fun. Plays exactly like 100 Pumpkins, which has the Atari graphics, but now it's like Nintendo graphics. So pretty cool. And super addictive. There's like little like locks now though. So like there'll be like you got to get 30 pumpkins to unlock a lock so you can go to the next section. So it does compartmentalize it, which is Metroidvania-ish. Even though it's literally just 100 levels because you get 1 pumpkin per screen. It's 100 levels. The 100 little screens is all it is. So it's not like there's biomes or anything complex, but it's super fun, very easy to play. A nice little mini game. And then I tried out Odinfall that we talked about. That was an cyberpunk Viking game. Um, so I am it's hit or miss for me now because I'm up in arms because do I want to invest a lot of time to get good? That's the question because
That's a good
it is it is a skill-based roguelike. So you're going through playing through you start off with one character that there's a female Viking and you get to upgrade her and then you go back to the hub world and then you could upgrade levels. But I died like almost immediately. And I'm like, do I want to get good enough and level up enough to progress, to feel like I am making some kind of contribution to the game? Because that's my concern with roguelikes is I have to have a feel of progression and gaining skill or power or something in order to hook me in and keep playing. That's what Vampire Survivor does perfectly. It's like
yeah.
you play long enough to where it hooks you in. So I was like, do I want to jump down that rabbit hole right now? And so I don't know. Because I died almost immediately. It was like within a minute or two. So that was a pretty quick loop, pretty quick loop
Yeah.
for it. So not sure the graphics, music, everything are kick ass though. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's the thing. The game is cool as shit, but with 80,000 games for us to look at, fucking crazy. But my topic for you, because I mean you're a metal fan, I'm a metal fan. Um, did you see that Limited Run Games is doing Doom 1 and 2?
Oh wow, no, I did not see that.
So they're doing a physical for it. It includes Sigil 1 and 2 on it too. So the John Romero created WADs for, I think it's just Doom 1 or whatever. But here's the question. Now you have to look. There is a collector's edition, and there is a Can You Play This edition. The Can You Play This edition, the box literally plays Doom.
Huh.
Like you open up the panel of the box like a book, and you can play Doom on the box.
Oh wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, that kind of goes into the can it play Doom? This box can.
Well, exactly. So that's the thing is, like, Limited Run does do the nostalgia, right? They have a Caco Demon figure. There's actually like a little Caco Demon thing that plays Doom as well, like another little screen thing. But that version is $666.
Wow.
Like, by numbers because of the devil, but $600 for a limited edition release, not doing it. No. That's more than Neo Geo homebrew games.
Well, I mean, that's more than the Switch 2 right now. And that's like the big topic right now. Everyone's talking about the Switch 2.
Exactly. So when everybody's complaining about the pricing of games, the pricing of the Switch 2, they're literally releasing a Switch 1 release for $666. And I don't think anybody's talking about the pricing, because I was looking in the comments. They're like, they think it's funny because of the play on. You could play Doom on it.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I want to say the big box is $200. It might be. Maybe it's $100.
Yeah.
It might be $100. But either way, it's still like $100 or so. And I was like, when I was doing deluxes, not the standards and the retros. So I would do standards for 40, retros for 60, which you get a Super Nintendo box, badass, and some fun items inside. But like the $100 deluxe edition came with a hardcover strategy guide. Yeah, there's no hardcover strategy guide with it, with the big box edition. It does look like a big box PC though. So
yeah.
I mean, but also I assume that they have to pay the licensing to its software to get the game. So but being part of Embracer Group, I don't think that's gonna be a problem. But yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to see your look on your face for $666 for one game release.
That's insane. That is crazy.
It's cool, but it's not $200 cool. Let alone $600 cool.
Question is somebody's going to get it. I wonder who's going to get it.
I mean, outside of like Barry from the Old Switch Minute Playcast, because he buys everything. I wouldn't. There's no way. Even aftermarket, because there'll be game stores or resellers that will buy it. They'll put it at the conventions. And the thing is, though, is that they put it more than that price, it isn't going to sell either, because 666 is a fun
already high
number. But that's the gag. So if you put it more than that, here's $1,000 game. Like, I'm like, yeah, but it was 666, and I wouldn't pay that for it. I mean, it'd be like if you did Leisure Suit Larry and charge $69 for it, like for the edition. Yeah, it's like, okay, that's a funny quip, but I'm not gonna put more. So yeah, I figured that would be an interesting topic, especially with Switch 2 being expensive. It's the Switch 2 will be what it is. I mean, it's delayed a month for pre-orders. Pre-orders are selling out overseas. Like,
yeah, for me, I mean, the Switch 2, I mean, to be real, the Switch 1 has so much like collectability, and there's so much in the backlog. I mean, I honestly could take like a whole year before I get the Switch 2 and be absolutely fine. You know,
a year?
I could go a whole year. I say that, but I say that
with a whole lifetime of games. But honestly, like, I could not have the Switch 2 and I would never run out of games to play.
That's true.
So they got to entice us. So my thing is, and this is my recommendation to everybody listening and watching, is that don't pay the scalper prices, because there's already scalpers selling the shit for $1,000.
Yeah,
don't do that. It's not worth it. Nintendo will produce enough consoles eventually. There's no reason to rush out when it's not backward compatible, when it's, there's not that many exclusives coming at launch. Like, you should be able to get it day one, especially because they've delayed, I think, like a month from now, less than a month from now. But
Yeah.
by the time this airs, it'll probably be around time. But I think it's May 8th is what they're just saying now is the US pre-order. So they'll have pre-orders. Don't
Yeah.
scalp before it goes live here. And every single Nintendo console I've been able to find without pre-orders out in the wild. Like, I may have gotten the last damn Nintendo 64 in Northwest Indiana when I was a kid. I got one in person.
Yeah.
I found my Switch. I had one on pre-order, but I found a Switch out at the store. I went to the store morning of before I went to on the way to work. I went and stopped in the store and bought my Nintendo Switch. So I got it on launch in person. So and the fact that there's like one or two games that I might buy for the launch, which Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, Mario Kart World. I'm gonna buy that, and my daughter's gonna want Delta Bruin digitally. Like, that's about it. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get Cyberpunk. I probably will eventually because it's complete on card. I think that'd be neat, but I don't need it launch. So, like, in reality, like, and Super Mario Kart's going to be a weekend play for the family. I'm not a Super Mario Kart aficionado. I'm not going to want to play and beat all the levels. Like, I'm going to want to play it on the weekend with friends and family and have some drinks and have a good time. Like, and so I don't need to have any. There's no like system seller.
Yeah. That's the
Coming
thing.
out.
There's no game that's like, oh man, I gotta play it. Like Super Mario Kart
Like
World, like it looks fun.
Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I needed this Switch because I needed to play the new Zelda. The upgraded ones are going to be great on Switch too, but
Yeah.
I don't need to play those because I've already played them. So I don't like. It's not something I got to bum rush out to play. Donkey Kong Bonanza looks cool. That's July. That's a month after the Switch is released, so I can wait a month. I can get the Switch with Donkey Kong. Honestly, I might wait because I'm going to be moving my family during June as it is anyways. So I might, wait until Donkey Kong comes out to buy the Switch too. Maybe.
Yeah.
That game to me is probably the coolest thing that's coming out during the launch window. That's probably the coolest one. And just because it's a unique thing. Now, do we know when Metroid Prime 4 is coming out?
I want to say it's coming out during the holiday season.
Yeah, so that would be another one that would be neat to play, but I've never beaten the other three Metroid Primes. Like, I even with Remaster when it came out a few years ago, I tried and I just I had lost interest about a quarter of the way through. Just not like, it's just not for me because I got so many indie games to play, so much other stuff pulling my attention, artwork and books, and I need something that's gotta suck me in. And moving last year, it was Elden Ring. Played a shit out of Elden Ring, and I beat the game, beat the DLC that came out at the time, the Erdtree DLC, all that shit. And the move before that was Tears of the Kingdom, and I played the shit out of Tears of the Kingdom. So I was like, because keep in mind, Xander, I've been moving every damn year with my family. Like, so first year during the move time, second year. This year though, it's dangerous because my Lenovo Legion Go, I have a portable setup with a little keyboard, so I can work on my books on the road. So I'm going to be pulled toward, all right, do I work on my TurboGrafx book or do I play video games? And as you all know, I do my projects a lot more than I play video games nowadays. I enjoy the projects though. That's the thing. I find enjoyment in it, and but I do. That's what I love about indie games.
Yeah, and there was actually one other indie game that you had been playing that I looked up the B-roll and it looked fun, but yeah.
Talking about Frogue. Yeah, yes. It's like Rogue and it puts an F in front of it. And so this was my randomizer of the week. hit the little random button, and I talk it like while I'm on the bathroom with my Steam Deck, playing a little Frogue. And I mean the graphics look cool. Looks like a Super Nintendo game, which is why
Yeah.
I even added it to the to the games I needed to play to my wish list. And so I played it. Immediately, like the first level or two, the tutorial levels, like it was frustrating. Like so basically you're using the the actual control stick and you're moving around, and then you just press a button and the frog just moves to it. It just moves, and it brings like little pixels though. So there's like little spots on the platforms, but like you'll like aim toward a platform to go on a side, and it won't pick it up, and it'll like get stuck down and get stuck. Like it's like the controls are wonky. They're not great. Um, have you ever played? And it's somewhat of a Metroidvania. Have you ever played Dandara? The
No.
non-traditional. So Dandara is a Metroidvania, but you literally just shoot your character around. You literally aim and she moves just like Frogue. But the controls are amazing. The controls are badass. Like it's analog style, so you can literally just shoot around. You move fast and do combos and crazy stuff. And so this one is like I'm moving around, then they throw up a little target, and you got to go jump through the target, and like you just basically move through the target, but you can't move anywhere it doesn't register. And then it's like then the target's off to the side. It's like, all right, look toward it and press the X button to throw your sword. I look toward it, the sword goes right over the target and doesn't hit it. And I'm like looking at it and I'm like, okay, so let me move around. Let me press the X button. The sword doesn't return. And I'm like, it's just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, so I'm pressing all the buttons, nothing. And I'm like, all right. And then eventually the sword went back to me, and then I did it again and I hit that target. And then another one pops up. And I'm like, all right, that I did.
Yeah.
Wasn't cool, and I assume that's the tutorials, and I didn't even get into the game yet, and it's so wonky that I didn't even want to continue playing it.
Yeah, if the how-to is already confusing, then like that, because the game's supposed to be challenging, so the how-to is supposed to kind of show you what to do so you can get into the challenge. So if the how-to is already like challenging itself and
Yeah.
irritating and unresponsive, it's like, yeah, it sucks. It is a cheap game at least. At least you didn't spend $20 on it.
Yeah, it's a budget game. The thing is, though, is that like now my assumption from if you think about it from a developer perspective, so developers are making their games, and they do it to their own style. That's the problem with making a game to your own specifications. I assume he was using mouse and keyboard.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
I assume. So when it moved to, I'm playing it on Steam Deck, the controls, it's not as optimized. Now, just give the option to use the damn little trackpad or something. Like I could use the trackpad if it's more accurate that way. Like when you create your games, like just use the options that are available. I can try it and try to install it on my other system, but I was so unimpressed that I probably won't. And they lost me. They lost me. So the Frogue is on my in my collection, the to delete collection, and it'll be off of my Steam Deck because like just another one bites the dust, Sander. Another one bites the dust.
Well, it kind of makes think of like another Frog game that I played at. It was very similar because I liked Froggo's Adventure, but then
Fargo was cool.
yeah, then they have Froggo Swing and Grapple. And
Yeah.
that was another one of those games that like it's impossible to play with the controller. Like you have to play with a mouse, which is funny because it's on Switch too. So I mean, like it would be almost like broken on Switch, being a controller like that.
Screens with it.
Maybe I don't know. I ended up getting it on Steam because I mean, like I love Froggo's Adventure, and I'm like, oh, this is another one, but this is like very different, and it's yeah, connecting the vines and all that. I didn't like it.
Not as good. Yeah. And thing is, though, not everything's gonna resonate with us old asses. So I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's like I was telling myself when I saw Curse of the Sea Rats and I found out it was terrible. I'm like, you're gonna have those black sheep in your collection. You're gonna have that.
my bad for ruining your weekends. Maybe I saved you from like
You
a bad
did.
experience.
You did. I mean, it makes great content for the podcast, if anything, because I will play it. I will play it.
Yeah,
So
I'll say with a grain of salt, you should still try it out because you might not agree with me and everybody else online.
I might be that weirdo that's like, man, this is right up there with Owlboy.
No, let's not confuse. You are that weirdo. You're 100% that weirdo, which is why it's great. But yeah, it's just clunky. Like it's not a great sad. But what's not clunky is the first game in our
That was good. That was good.
Oh man. So this one is not a new game. I came across it though, because it popped up in my Steam. Have you heard of BPM?
Not until I
Bullets
saw
per
pre-roll.
Holy shit, I've heard of this game. It is Doom, but you shoot to the beat.
Like kind of like a metal slinger. Metal Slinger is very like that. It's a
Well,
rhythm base.
I think this game came out before because this game came out in
Oh yeah.
2020.
Yeah, no, it's older.
This game, but like literally it's roguelike dungeons, craziness, crazy like Dark Souls style graphics, and you go through like it's like Doom, the new Doom remake, but with like crazy ass boss fights and over the top weaponry and hellscapes
And I really like the rhythm element, because like if it's anything like Metal Slinger, then it's a lot of fun. Because Metal Slinger, it was just like you start going with the double bass with your shotgun, like the drums, like boom, 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 boom. And it's so fun, so good.
So, the developer is Awe Interactive, and they haven't done anything else.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, they haven't done anything else. They're probably working on something, one would assume, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just the game looks badass. I haven't played it yet, so that's one. Like most of the stuff in our on the horizon, we haven't really played. It's a $20 game though, and it does have also a DLC Robo Beats as a bundle. Maybe Robo Beats is a second game from the company because it looks like it might be its own game. I thought it was DLC. Maybe it's a second game.
Huh.
So maybe they did one that's like shoot games and FPS, and then they did the Doom stuff.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I have to check that out.
And then the next game in the list is another one that I definitely was aware of. And I think it has a Switch physical.
It does have, it is on the eShop, at least because I just saw this recently. So when I saw it in the show notes, I'm like, oh man, I wanted to check this game out too. Because yeah, it's a really cool like 2D pixel 3D like SNES style co-op game. It's cool.
Well, and the interesting thing is that it's not Chandu Soft. It is Mad Gear Games was the developer, and I was working with Mad Gear, not working with them, but I think it wasn't that we were working with them. I think this was before we created Premium Edition Games because like I mean I say we, like there was a few of us that like created the idea behind it before I was authorized to do Switch. And we were playing the game, and I want to say we were playing the game for I'm looking down like this Xander Soft's done a fuck ton of games. But we were playing the game and it was a Mad Gear Games developed game, but we were playing it, I think, for the Switch Mania Playcast back in the day. But like I'm trying to see which one it was. Maybe it wasn't Caveman Warriors, it wasn't Indie Apocalypse, it wasn't it was a game by the people who made Komodo because then they sent us the demo for this game to play
Yeah.
like in before it was on early launch, and they knew we were going to create a physical company. They I think we were just it wasn't that we were not established, it was that we they were already had signed a physical before we had to announce the company, some deal like that, because this game, when did Kimono Heroes come out? 2025 is when it actually was released. What it says. But this game was announced way before. Like I think they were working on this thing for years.
It looks really, really good. Like very, very detailed pixel art.
Yeah. What is the details behind it? Is it like I think it's a beat 'em up?
Yeah, it's a I would say it's more of like just a platformer. And like it's got some action in there, but there's a lot of platforming.
Okay, because there's a heavy emphasis on multiplayer. I know when I played it, it was single player, so they must have added like tons and tons of stuff to it. Is there some kind of like complete edition? So maybe there was a maybe this is like an upgrade or something because this is a $14, $15 game, but there's like a $20 bundle.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, this is interesting because like I had played this a long time ago. That's why I'm like, how is it just really? So it's more of a run and slash. It's not a Gale.
Yeah.
It's more like a hack and slash, run and slash. I call it action platformers on the classic Super Nintendo era. That's what it reminds me of. Playing your Ninja Gaidens or your Ninja Warriors. Like that's the type of game. But I think there's 4-player co-op in it, which looks awesome. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it's got the four play co-op. It's almost like the like almost like New Super Mario Brothers. Like they're all on the screen and using grappling hooks and yeah, I really like this game. Like I saw it on the Switch and I almost bought it. I was like, man, this looks kind of good.
Almost bought it, Xander.
Almost bought
Um, yeah, like just like when you were running, you almost fell, almost bought it.
it.
Now, the thing is, though, is that games like this always draw my attention because it has that old arcade style feel to it. More so than Super Nintendo style beat 'em ups. It has the 90s arcade feel to it.
Hmm.
The question is that like with all the unlockables and everything else, um, does it have enough to keep us like hooked for more than just a single playthrough? That's the real question.
Yeah, and is the multiplayer, is it just couch co-op or is it online?
I don't know. I think it looked like it was just couch co-op, but I didn't see any kind of multiplayer online.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. And this next game looked really interesting. This one that you sent called Spilled.
Completely the different realm from the other
Yeah.
two. This is like a cozy game. Like apparently you can beat it in like an hour, or you can continue to play and take it at your own pace because you're like cleaning up the rivers and water and
You're just boat, just doing this thing, cleaning the water.
cleaning up the ocean is what it says.
You know what it made me think? I was like, man, what did we ever have a Captain Planet video game? That's what it made me
We
think of.
did on the NES.
Oh man, I guess that was.
Yeah, it was I think it was an action beat 'em up platformer like Komodo Heroes. Um, yeah, this company has only done this game. I think it's Lenti. Game was released March of 2025. Overwhelmingly positive, like
Oh man, the amount of detail that this game has, like, because it
yeah.
does have like that cozy atmosphere. It's very detailed. It has like the pastel kind of color scheme to it. Like it looked like a really cool, fun game and very different. I wasn't expecting a game playing as a boat cleaning up the ocean. I was like, that's kind of cool. That's worth.
Well, and like they do a I think it's like 10 cents or something of every sale. Every same sale gets donated to whale and dolphin conservation.
Oh yeah, that's
So I
awesome.
mean, like indie developers don't typically do that because their margins are super tiny, but like taking a little bit and doing that little bit of donation for each one. I mean, the game is only a few dollars. So even if they do a Steam sale, $6. So even if they did a Steam sale, like 10 cents, they could still do the little 10 cents. And like eventually that all adds up, especially if they sell thousands of copies. That's giving hundreds of dollars to
So
conservation.
so you're buying a game cleaning the ocean, and in return, you're actually cleaning the ocean. It's a game with it's like it's very meta, very meta.
Throwing a couple bucks to the conservation to maybe help them sustain their their whatever they got going on. I'm not sure what whale conservation does, but still, I still think it's pretty cool.
It is really,
I
really
like
cool.
when people do a little bit extra with their games. And the game itself looks fun, and the fact that it's only like a short game means that I'll definitely want to try it out.
Yeah. If anything, I mean, maybe it's a little game you can play while you're on the road.
Yeah. And now the seriousness of the cozy cleaning up is the exact opposite of this next game. This next game
This
is
one,
ridiculous looking.
this one, you know what this game made me think of? This game made me think of like a quirky Dreamcast game that was left in
100%.
Japan that we never got. Like Rent a Hero. Rent a Hero is a great example. That's a very quirky game. This one called Pull Stay is
Holy cow.
it is really interesting. Very, very humorous.
Like it's a beat 'em up 3D style where it's like if you took um what is it, the Goat Simulator, but made it into a beat 'em up and threw a bunch of crazy shit everywhere. Like it's like super busy, looks cringe, janky as hell, wacky beat 'em up with tower defense mechanics. So apparently it's like wave after wave of enemies that you beat the shit out of. That's basically what that means. The reason why, because I'm not a huge fan of like wave after wave games because they get like old real fast.
Yeah.
But this is wacky as shit. There's so much going on that it's gotta stay entertaining. Like it just looks insane. And yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like kind of just no pun intended. It kind of pulls you in is the sense of humor because yeah, tower defense games like you said they get very very samey after a while. Like you get to a certain degree and it's like okay, what more can I do? Um,
exactly.
but I'm looking at some of the gameplay right now because someone's like broadcasting it and they are like in a like ATV vehicle and they're fighting giant monsters and collecting coins and catapulting them. And these giant monsters, they're karate guys. So weird. This is such a weird game.
There you go to another video, and there's a guy with a rocket launcher, but the rocket launcher is shooting watermelons.
I wonder
And
what.
there's like another one with the giant robot walking through a town and destroying buildings with its hands.
And by the way, folks, if you want to try this game, there is a demo. And it's very
You could be a giant body pillow, and then when the enemies come up to you, you like destroy them as a body pillow.
you're saying this you're saying this as I'm watching the guy hugging a giant shrimp tempura and using it as the weapon in a beat 'em up like scene.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Like this shit is stupid. And that's exactly like that's the stuff we're here for, people. It is $14.44 currently on sale. Um so I'm definitely gonna have to add it's already in my wish list, but
Yeah.
like yeah, it looks ridiculous. Ridiculous. But like, yeah, this is the episode of ridiculous games and like oddballs because like all of these games that are on the horizon are all a little different. You got giant couch co-ops, you got bullet hell shooters to music, you got cozy games where you're cleaning up the environment. And then you go into from the crazy tempura hugging to this final game, which is insane.
Ooh. You know what this game made me think of?
The game is Voidborn.
Yes. This game made me think of Dark Watch on the PS2. That macabre like kind of first person shooter. I
It's a
was like,
fallback.
yeah, that's a deep cut right there.
The
I
deep
was
cut
like,
and dude, this one is a fast-paced roguelike first-person shooter where you slay demons and demigods. You get to create devastating weapon builds. And you journey through a massive dark fantasy environment on your quest to avenge God. Like it looks crazy, looks insane. Um, Game is $10 on sale, so it's $10. It's been updated recently, and then there is a bundle. So let's see if this developer, X Vera, has done anything else because this game was released in April of 2025. So like literally within days of this recording, it was released.
hmm.
And
Yeah, they look like they
fun,
hadn't released anything, but this bundle looks a lot of fun.
the incredibly fast-paced first-person shooter bundle. Um, and I mean, when think of incredibly fast-paced, you feel like Doom, but like but with Voidborn, these landscapes, like there's just like levels and like the backgrounds look like painted, like crazy fantasy, like death and destruction. Like it, this game looks amazing, and the fact that it's an indie game is insane because like
Yeah,
this just
Yeah, I'm looking at the bundle, and one of the games is in the bundle is called Force Reboot. It's a fast-paced first person with roguelike elements. It says it's all focused on nonstop gameplay. This game, it looks it looks almost like a parkour with guns set in like the Doom world. Like it looks really, really cool. It's in early access. It's a 2.99 game, so it's a pretty cheap game. So if you want to get it by itself, it's not that much, but it is in the bundle with the game that we mentioned. So
Yeah, this is insane, this game. Like, yeah, and then Voidborn, like some of like the particles are got pixels to them too. Like you'll do a thing with your hand and it's like
yeah,
pixelated and you shoot it out. There's a sword that's almost like Shredder's lightsaber, which I showed earlier. Like a crazy lightsaber. The guns all have like crazy light effects to them, which is badass. Like, I don't know. This one is definitely the one that intrigued me the most out of all of them. My only problem is that I haven't been drawn to a first person shooter since like Doom. So
yeah.
I mean the remake, the reboots, but like, yeah, there really is. It's tough to get into a first person or a boomer shooter nowadays for me, beyond one playthrough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to start diving into them because like not indie gaming, but the RoboCop Rogue City was on PSN, and so I downloaded that, and I really enjoyed playing it, but I wanted to spend more time just shooting things. So I'm like, I need to probably go and play a boomer
shoot shit.
shooter.
I
Yeah.
want to shoot shit, is what Xander says.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't even want to go through the story. I'm like, I want to skip it. I just want to like shoot all the bad guys. That's what I want to do right now. So yeah, maybe this is something I need to check out because this seems to be more of what my mindset is. In the whole game
Yeah.
palette. You know?
I mean, I'm gonna be going into shipping mode this
Mm.
next week because um at the time of this recording I'm shipping out the limited editions of the complete Genesis book and signing, like, I gotta sign 100 books or something and get them shipped out. So I listened to Sega Genesis music while I'm doing it, so
Of
cool.
course.
Yeah, and going through the whole process of getting them all together, all the pieces. For those that don't know, there's actually I do a business card. I signed the business card to put it in the spot too, inside the book. So I'm not only signing the outside of the slipcase, I actually sign inside the book too. So there's like little secrets in there. Um, but yeah, once that's done, by this time, everything should be shipped out and everybody should have their books, and then it'll be up on the website. As well as at the time of this recording on Tuesday is when the Super Nintendo, the Dust Sleeve is going live.
Mm.
And eventually the Indie Gaming Gems from March will be live. It's not yet. I still have to edit. I had to do editing.
Oh yeah, there's some editing in that one.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't started, but I will. As I gotta, after I get shipping done, wife wants to go out, probably hit up a couple game stores when we go out shopping. But I do need to hit the deck roulette and see what I'm going to commit to playing for everyone to talk about for the next episode. And I will hit the deck roulette. So I hit it, and it is Lila's Tale and the Hidden Forest. Lila's Tale.
Huh. It I was like, I'm already hearing like some guitar solos going in there.
Well, that's the thing with my Steam Deck is because I have Decky Loader on it, it'll play background music.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
so yeah, so I will hit the play button so that way it starts up, so it pops up in my top bar on there. That way I'll play it later. That Lila's Tale. That's what we'll play. That music sounded like metal then. It's like a cutesy little game. So I don't think that was the right music that it pulled from online. So it does like an online thing where it'll pull like a song. Skullfish Studios. It looks like a platformer. Like that's what it looks like from the screenshot. So we'll see what it actually is. Lila's Tale.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Should be fun.
Indeed, indeed. I always. Yeah, I went with the whole episode so far. I had to say it. I do have to check out some games. I think I'm going to check out I think I'm going to check out Pulse Day. I think I'm going to check that out for the next episode because I need some random. So I think that looks like a really good random game.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, and like I know the week prior there was like every game we talked about was what was released. There was like 20 games released this week.
Yeah.
That I came across, so I just pulled out the top like few. There's already games for next week already out as of today.
There's always games coming out, you know, and
So
backlogs keep growing.
And it's not only games that are just now coming out, but ones that like pop up in my list, and I throw them into the list. And the thing is that I've already got the 100 games I'm doing for the Indie Gaming Gems book, and it's like we're getting to the next 100 like before I even start the first book, which is freaking crazy because like I got to finish Switch Year 3 and Turbo, and then it's never ending. And then I'll have to do Metroidvania 3. It's fun.
Yep, yeah, and I almost said it. But before we end this,
indeed.
Before we end this episode, we need to give a big shout to our exclusive Patreons.
Exclusives, the executive producers. So we got Akriloth,
David Isherwood,
we got Jesse Glenn,
and Launchbox, aka the disgruntled gamer from Thunderdome Gaming Society.
And we want to thank you for becoming the executive producers on patreon.com/Hagen's Alley. Keep in mind that every quarter, so when they do a quarter worth of executive producers or producers, not just executive producers, but for a cup of coffee, I will send you some crazy things, because when I'm making stuff like that goes to producers. So when I'm making crazy little like pixel arts and stuff, but I'm also going to throw in other little treats in there. So if I have like ones that didn't like that I'm testing and things, or if I'm doing an indie credible like coaster, which is probably what's going to be this quarter, there's going to be some indie credible merch, but I will throw in some other stuff in there too for them. The executive producers, though, at the end of the year, will get to vote on, and I will do a wooden book cover for the book of their choosing. It has to be like a general consensus. It's something that I can do. But I will do a wooden book cover release, and I'm going to hand assemble it too, which will be fun as shit. So that is what we are doing. We're about to hit the first quarter. I think they're like 2 or 3 months, almost 3 months in, so it's time. It is not Xander. But yeah, we got and keep in mind, Patreon is free to join. I think we have like 68 people on Patreon now.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
And so like that's a lot of appreciation for everyone for joining the community, and I'm always posting on there. I posted about Stumbling Books the other day, so it's been cool, and I appreciate it all.
Oh yeah, and as always, guys, we want to thank you for checking out the Indie Credible podcast, and as always, support indie.
Indeed.